loud but quiet strength. Organized justice and collective courage always speak louder.